And baby, hey, don't hit our house. Don't hit our house. America! Spirit of America. Hello and welcome to the worst lighting in the world. It's gloomy out and it's also 90 degrees and it's October 1st. Happy fall. I cannot figure out the lighting. I closed the blind behind me because it was like too bright behind me and now it's like too dark even though there's a window in front of me. And I have my ring light on. I don't really know. This is going to be more of a chatty video while I just slap some makeup onto my face. I have to work today in about 2 hours. But I wanted to tell you guys the story of what happened to us last night. So while I'm putting my makeup on, I'm going to chat with you about what happened and what's been going on since the last time I filmed, which is obviously taking care of a baby. And that's why I haven't filmed anything. I do want to do a fall fashion video. I really want to do like a in the dressing room video, like at Target, because I've seen several people that I really like on YouTube doing those, and that's kind of like a fun way to like go try on clothes but then not have to buy them. So I'm into that. Because it is 90 degrees out on October 1st, I'm sweating, but I'm always sweating. Glug glug. So let's get into the makeup. I kind of have foundation on already, but I'm gonna layer on some concealer because I just thrown it on like really quickly after I got out of the shower just because my skin's really red. So I just like slapped it on. So anyways, last night, well, let's back up. Today is Tuesday. On Saturday, we've been looking for a used camper. I had a little teardrop camper that I bought in 2017 that we sold in the spring for basically what I bought it for. So that was kind of awesome. So we'd only used it a few times. So we outgrew it quickly because we got a bigger dog and we had a baby. So now we've got 2 dogs that, you know, a golden doodle, so they're big. And then a baby, a 6-year-old, the 2 of us, Finley the Pomeranian. That does not fit in the teardrop. So we sold that and like we are planning to go to Montana. I've talked about this before on my channel. Next summer, we're gonna go like the second week of July. So we're actually starting to kind of plan some of that because you have to like reserve certain campsites like in, let's say, Glacier National Park, like now. So we've been talking about like how we're gonna get there and like what we're gonna do and like how much it's gonna cost to like get hotels on, you know, on our way there and on our way back, because it's like gonna take us 3 days minimum. Well, maybe maximum. I don't know. Kelly says that it will take 3 days with the children because of stopping and all of that stuff to get there and 3 days to get back. So we're like, okay, that's like 6 nights of hotels. Then we're like looking at renting a camper. Then we're like, well, if we're gonna rent a camper for like half the price of what we might be able to find one for, let's just buy one. So we've been kind of like looking for used campers, but nothing like amazing. Like I actually want it to be more kind of like a ramshackled, because I feel like if it's too nice, like what's the point? Like just stay in your house. Like if you're just gonna, if we had all the money in the world, then that would be different. But I kind of want something to be a little bit not so perfect, you know, imperfectly. So we started looking and we've been seriously looking for probably like 2 weeks. We've always looked at campers because we really want to have one, but we've been seriously looking for like 2 weeks. So on Saturday, she sent me a few and there was this one that was kind of like perfect for us. And they wanted about $6 grand for it. And it was at a site, like it, I don't know if I should say where. I'm not gonna say where because the story goes weird. It was at like an RV dealership and it had a price of about $6,000, but it said make an offer. So we're like, why not? Let's just make an offer. So Kelly made like a lowball offer of like $4,200. And then yesterday, probably around, I don't know, noonish, I think he had called like earlier. She called him back just to like kind of like, because we didn't think they were going to accept it. And basically they were like, we'll accept your offer, but you have to be here like tonight by 7 to like close the deal or no deal. Now it was in Indianapolis and we live near Columbus, so it's like a 3-hour drive. So we're like, Kelly was on the phone with like work for a while and then we had to like wait till she was done with work. So we leave here, we drive 3 hours. We get out there. You're probably gonna hear a baby crying. You're just gonna have to ignore it. We get out there and boy, very young man who was like the person who sold us the camper, shows us the camper. Kelly's checking it out. All looks legit. Like it looks good. Like it's what we expected. Then we started doing all the paperwork and they failed to mention to us that we had to get insurance for it before it like rolled off the lot, which we didn't know, but would have been nice to know before like 8 o'clock when we got there. And then had to wait around to try to get insurance at 8 o'clock at night when we could have done it on our 3-hour drive. So I was pissed. to say the least, because it was a very unorganized mess. We've got a 2-month-old with us. Like, we wanted to get there, sign the papers, get out, and get back home. Like, 3 hours there, 3 hours back. Like, nobody has time for, like, pooping around about insurance. So that takes like a half an hour, and then it's like more like signing of all the things, and then we get out there and it's dark, and little boy is like, I'll help you, I'll stay until, you know, we'll get it all hooked up, because I'm like, we can't hook this up. I mean, Kelly could probably figure it out, but like, it's dark, we have a baby with us, like, we need help. So he's like, oh no, I'll help you. So I trust nothing. I'm like terrified. I was like, I don't feel good about this, like hooking up of things. So Kelly's like out there sort of like managing it, and I was like, okay, when she gets in the car and like we're all set, I was like, do you think it's fine? And like, did you watch him? She's like, well, first time you put it on upside down. She's like, but I watched him. And so we're like, okay. So we're like, hey, okay, bye, thanks, whatever. So we go to leave, and she does kind of like a loop in the parking lot, you know, as you would do to make sure like nothing's gonna, like the wheels aren't gonna shoot off and the sides don't cave in the moment you start driving. So she did like a loop and kind of went in a circle. Things are fine. I was like, his name is Heathcliff. I was like, is Heathcliff following us? Is he back there? And he was back there. Hims was going. So everything was fine. We go to pull out of the drive, like to cross like an intersection to like go back to the highway. And you know, in like those busy intersections in cities, like there's like by the corners of intersections, like highways, like we were getting on like I-70, there's like fast food, there's gas stations, there's like lots of like lanes that you could go into. Well, we start like crossing the major intersection, and Kelly's like, oh no. So she just kept going forward. She's like, it's falling off, it's falling off. So she keeps going forward, like, so we pull up like the drive of like a McDonald's, and she's like, oh my god, it's falling off. So she starts like pumping her brakes. Now mind you, I would have just slammed on the brakes and the camper would have like shot through the back of our truck and murdered us all, but she has a smarter brain than me with that kind of stuff. So she started tapping the brakes, basically had to use her bumper of her new truck to stop the camper. And you could hear the like hitch like thing, because it came off like scraping against the road, like sparking. And finally it comes to a stop. We're blocking 2 lanes of traffic, basically in and out of this like little, I mean, it was in front of the McDonald's. There's like those 2 lanes that go in and go out or whatever, but we were blocking them. So we're like, oh my god. And now at this point it is like 10 o'clock at night, almost 9:30 maybe. So we have the man-child's phone number, because we'd been like communicating with him all day. So I call and I was like, Connor, and I told him his name. Oh, well, anyway, you don't know who he is. Anyways, I was like, man-child, like, you need to come back here right now. We're literally across the street from where we just bought this camper, and it fell off because you didn't hook it up right. And he's like, oh my god. So he turns around and he comes back. By the way, this is like the only redeeming grace for him, because otherwise I probably would have went literally nuts. He comes back and he's just like, I could tell he's mortified, and he's like, oh my god. So he's like looking at it, and like several people stopped to help us. So that's like, you know, faith in humanity, like good people out there like trying to help us, because we're like these women blocking traffic with a tiny baby that's angry and crying. And she wasn't out of the car really, but you know, she was starving obviously. So a couple people tried to help us. They were like, and so then when he gets there, he's like helping, like try to like get it back hitched up, at least to move it out of traffic, right? No. When he tries to do that, he breaks part of it because he put it on wrong in the first place. So the jack or the crank and the jack like broke. So now it's like dead in the water. So he's like, we'll call their like roadside assistance. We're like, okay. So we call the roadside assistance, and they're like, well, since you're blocking traffic, that's a city problem. You have to call the police and a tow truck. Goodbye. So then so we're like, are you kidding me? So then we are still talking to Boy, and we're like, you need to get someone other than you to help. So he's like, well, we have a technician that like lives on site in one of the campers, but he might be asleep. He's usually been drinking. We're like, oh my god. We're like, well, go see if he's not drunk. So he goes to see if he's not drunk. And in the meantime, I was like, okay, we've called the police. They're coming. So let's call back like the roadside assistance. So we call it back, and we tell them, look, our situation, we're trapped. We're in traffic. We've got cops coming. We've got tow coming. We need you to come fix it. And they're like, oh, you haven't had your policy for 48 hours. It's not valid yet. So Kelly just literally hung up on them, and we're like, at that point, I was like, we live here now. We live in this intersection, and we just are gonna have to get inside of Heathcliff and live there. I started to cry because it felt like, what are we supposed to do? I mean, it was like an impossible situation. Like, we don't know how to fix it. We just bought it, so now we're like screwed, because it was like a as is, because it's older. It's a 2005 Coachman Spirit of America. and I will be getting some photos of what's going on with the motif. So I'm like, oh, we're screwed. Now we did have a 5 million pound pile of junk behind us. So then he comes back. Nope, technician is asleep. And by that time the cops are there, we're talking to him, and the cops are like, well, it's gonna have to get towed back over there either way, and who's gonna pay for the towing? And the cops are like, I suggest your business does. And I'm like, yeah, we're not paying for it. So, dogs. So basically, long story short, because this is getting rambly, man-child, finally, and I said this in front of the police because I was like, done. I was like, you need to literally go to someone's house that you work with, a manager, you need to go get them out of their house, get them out of their bed, get them out of whatever they're doing, and bring them here because we need help now. We have a 2-month-old baby in there, we're blocking traffic, we just bought this, it's not okay. I was like, what? This is not okay, do more. And basically he did. He went and found someone. He found like their sales manager, and he came there, and I was ready. I had texted him, I was like, we're done. Rip up the contract, take it back to your lot, and we're done. So manager gets there and he's like, we are going to tow it over there, obviously on our dime. We're going to fix it, and it's going to be delivered in the morning. And for some reason, my brain wasn't working. I was like, what am I going to do when you deliver the parts to me in the morning? Like, we still have to come back and get the camper. I was like, I don't want to come back here. He's like, no, somebody will drive drive it to you. I was like, oh. So then we were like, okay. So basically he was also going to put us up in a hotel, which would have been fine. But Kelly had a literal meeting in her office, which she never does because she works from home at 9 a.m. this morning. So we got home at 2 in the morning, and she had to get up at 7. Yep. That's what happened to us last night, because we're those people. Well, first of all, we're insane. I love that we just do whatever. Like, that is part of what I love about us, because, like, we just are like, let's do this. Like, there's no hesitation. Like, in our past lives, both of our old partners would have, like, had heart attacks and died at the thought of, like, just... let's go get it, let's do it now. Like, they had too much anxiety about stuff like that. But Kelly and I are like, yep, let's get married, yep, let's have a baby, yep, let's do this, let's buy a house, let's do this. So we just like do all the things, and so far it's worked out. So I was like, let's just do this. Everything always works out. It's fine, like it's meant to be. And it is fine, and it did work out, but not without like a disaster happening. So now I'm waiting. It should be here literally any minute. So as soon as it does get here, I will, at the end of this video, pop in some footage of it. So it is a 2005 Coachman Spirit of America. The inside of it is definitely a patriotic motif. There are about 562 tiny American flags everywhere, like small wallpaper, and there's like bunting, and like somebody like made like valances for the windows. That's very American, and good on you. I'm an American, but also that is too much. So I cannot wait to get rid of that. Like, I literally cannot wait till this weekend so that we can like pull all that out and just see it without that happening. I mean, obviously somebody like was like in love with this because it's pristine for the year, and it even has like the manuals and everything from like in the camper still, and it's in great condition. It has it's 24 feet long if you know anything about campers, and it has a queen bed, bunk beds, which is perfect for the kids. And it's like, as me ever bring, I always say her name, I don't mean to. My stepdaughter brings her a friend or whatever, and then we have our 2 dogs, and then there's also like the dinette that folds down into another bed, which we figured probably the dog's bed. But I cannot wait. I've already watched like a few videos on like how to like, you know, DIY it and make it look not like that. So I definitely will film that when we do it, and let me know if you would be interested in watching that, because you know, historically I'm a disaster, so something's gonna go really, really wrong and weird. Weirder than being, you know, blocking traffic with it, with Heathcliff. And Kelly's like, well, first of all, our last camper, the teardrop, was named Ruby. I was like, I feel like this one's a boy. I was like, and when I think about him, he tells me his name is Heathcliff. She's like, you're actually nuts. And yes, I am. So when Heathcliff gets here, I will get some footage and slap it at the end of this. Other than that, how much blending am I going to do on this eyeshadow? What's been going on? Well, Hazel May is 2 months old. Can you believe it? She'll be 2 months old tomorrow. So she's changed so much. If you don't follow me on Instagram, head on over there to at the Erin Alexis show. Why did I forget my own Instagram? And follow me there, and you can see pictures of Hazel and see how much she's changed and like what's happening with her. She's just starting to get like expressive on purpose, if that makes sense. You know, before she was like smiling because she was pooping or dreaming about bottles or something, but now she like is responding to you and like smiling at you. So that's adorable. Basically, like, all day I'm with Hazel while Kelly's working. I mean, obviously Kelly like nurses her and stuff too, some like part of the day. She just takes a break. But mainly it's like Mama and Hazel time. We go for walks and we hang out and she barfs on me, you know, all the good stuff. And then Tuesday through Thursday, I get ready, which I'm doing right now, and I go to work from 4 to 9. So I'm with the baby all day and then I work all night. So it's rough. It's a rough go right now. I'm exhausted. But it's good and it's fun for the most part. There's been a couple of nights that have been sort of like, I could probably just run away and never come back to this home again, but I have not. And, you know, that's good. I have not got her a Halloween costume yet. So anybody, suggestions? I have one that I kind of want to get. It's a skunk. I just think it's hysterical and it's really cute. But I haven't gotten it yet because she's only going to be like 2.5 months old when Halloween gets here, which is, you know, in 30 days because it is October 1st, the best time of the year. I've already decorated my downstairs with Halloween stuff. I do have like a little spider and my like lacy black stuff back here. Maybe I will put like pumpkins back there for my next video if I film another video in October. We actually are going to a costume party and Krista is supposed to be here, so you may get to see Krista tomorrow if she comes here. And then I have signed up to do this like, it's called Fright Night in the Park, and I've signed up to be like a wandering creeper. Our friends are like on the committee that puts this together, so they asked us if we want to do that, and since we have my stepdaughter that night and obviously the baby and it's adult only thing, I was like, well, I'll do it. And you know, my wife had got me a vintage pram, which you can see pictures of that on my Instagram, so I think I'm gonna like be the lady with the haunted pram. So if I do creepy makeup for that, which I mean I'm going to, if I can film it I will, just to put some Halloween content out there. You know, it's the best time of the year. Next year I already know what I'm doing for Halloween. I'm not having a party this year. I would say in the last 20 years there's only been like 2 years that I haven't had a party. I think Heathcliff might be here. Like I just ate highlighter. I just heard loud sounds. He might be here. I'm gonna hurry this up so I can go look. So what are you guys doing for Halloween, friends? Are you having parties? Are you dressing up? What are you dressing up as? Have you decorated? What's going on? Hello, I am crazy and I need information about what you are doing. Oh my God, I'm sweating. I can't wait for the temperature to drop at the end of this week, Lord. I've already watched like 4 videos today about how to like update your camper. Do any of you have campers? I guess I could have probably asked that. If you do, I want to see them. Direct me to their photos. But yeah, that's what's been happening in my world. I'm trying to think if there's anything else weird that's happened. I mean, I'm sure there are every day, but that I need to tell you about. All right, friends. Well, this is like the fastest makeup I've ever done. That's actually not true. I did a 5-minute makeup challenge on here about 3 years ago. It's pretty hysterical. But I just wanted to slap all this on before weird people got here, like the weird delivery man from the camping place. I don't want to be half ready when that occurs. Cause I'm sure my wife's gonna go out there and direct the traffic of how she wants it placed. And I'm gonna have to take the baby. All right, friends. Look for some footage of Heathcliff at the end of this video. Heathcliff, the American. For now. He's very patriotic. Let's go in. This is what I would like to point out. It's a little excessive. It's like the 4th of July in here. But he just got delivered today. All this is gonna get a little facelift. I'm probably gonna paint all of these. But look, a full oven if I wanted to make a meatloaf, as Krista Mara said when I told her it was there. And bunk beds for the children's. And it has a full bathroom and more America. And a bathroom. Toilet. Very important. And on the other side of Heathcliff, we have the dinette, a little cubby, and the master suite. Yes. So stay tuned for upcoming adventures with Heathcliff. Bye. I have to do this. I mean, even that just helps to make that go away. Bye-bye.